today. Jennifer, how you doing? Thanks for coming on Aftershocks.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about IGNESCENT. You guys have a new single out now. It's titled Remnant. It's off the band's upcoming EP, Ascension, which comes out in early March.
Yeah.
So I guess, Jennifer, just start us off talking a bit about the new single, the upcoming record, and I guess anything else that's kind of going on in the IGNESCENT camp right now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It just released. We're really excited about it. January 21st. And then we found out it was added as like the most added songs on Billboard with like Hailstorm Shinedown last week. We just found that out. So that's pretty exciting. And it's been added. I think it was added to radio February 8th. And since then it's been added to like 26 stations so far. So we're really excited about all this and super thankful. So yeah, we've just been focusing on that and promoting the single, and then we have a show March 4th for the EP release. So looking forward to that, and that's at the town in Aurora, Illinois. So we'll be playing with a band called The Protest, Fallen Phobia, and then like Samir Badkara of Flyleaf is actually going to play with guitar with us with IGNESCENT. So we're really looking forward to that, and so that should be a lot of fun. So yeah, a lot going on. And then we had the music video that released as well to Remnant. And that released on January 21st too. And so yeah, we just a lot of things going on. We're booking fests right now, and some other shows will be playing at Route 20 in Sturvant, Wisconsin, March 5th too. And so
busy.
Yeah, pretty busy, which is good. After the last year.
That's great news about Remnant. The track you just said, it's been on Billboard. That's great. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And let's talk about the track. I mean, more specifically, in terms of the lyrical content, which is, it's such a positive and uplifting message from what I've, read from the lyrics and what I've heard. And obviously, I think that's something that we can use more of in rock and metal these days, a message of hope in a time where things, could seem pretty hopeless for many, since we're, hearing a lot of melancholic and despair themed songs these days. So it's really nice and refreshing to hear Remnant, because like I said, it is very positive. So talk a little bit about the message that you wanted to convey in Remnant, and that you were trying to express to your listeners and to the music fans out there.
Well, remnant just means like a small quantity of something that's remaining after a tragedy. And so, I mean, obviously with COVID, everything stopped for a long time. And there's so many, devastating things that happen with that, with obviously people being sick and dying. But as far as like the music side, I mean, that was so hard on artists to not be able to do what they love to do, and to be out there and play, and just like, I don't know, just really, heartbreaking. And a lot of bands quit, and we just kind of wanted to, be like, we're here to stay no matter what, no matter what happens, no matter the hurt, the heartbreak, how tough it is out there, we're gonna keep going, and we're not gonna quit. We are the remnant. We're going to keep going. And so we just wanted to give that message of hope and positivity to people, to inspire them, that even though things are tough, very tough, and things are hard, let's keep working together. Let's not quit. Let's just keep going. There is still hope. So that's the message.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, great. Well, let's talk also too, just about, a little bit about the history of IGNESCENT, because, you guys started the band back in 2008. So, I mean, there's no way that you guys are a new band. You know what I mean? You've been around a long time now. And I also read on your social media that, I know in the past there was a time where some previous band members tried to take over the band name at one point. But here you are, 14 years, after the inception, you're still releasing very energetic and positive music, regardless of all the hardships you've had to face with the band over the years. So I guess talk a little bit about, how you've been able to, keep really the band going all these years after, having some of those past transgressions, which, I mean, a lot of times, when bands go through something like that, they either change the name, disband, do something else. How were you able to kind of persevere through all that to where you are today?
Yeah. That's a good question. Well, the band name, I mean, it's something that's really meaningful to me. So I didn't want to change that. Because it means to ignite and to spark and just ignite people's hearts on fire. And yeah, that's something that I just believe in wholeheartedly. And I just want to keep going with that whole inspiration and message with the band name. And just, I mean, honestly, it was hard. I've been through different musicians and been treated like garbage sometimes. I mean, I didn't know like what I was doing when I started this, and I thought, oh, everything's going to go perfect and smoothly, and I was very naive, and I guess that happens, a lot, and didn't realize that. But this is just something that I've been wanting to do since I was a little girl, and I, even though I've struggled a lot and I've had a lot of problems with some people and band members, I just decided I'm not going to quit. I'm gonna keep going, keep persevering, and I'm not going to let anyone stop me from what I feel led to do, what I feel called to do, and what I love to do. And so that I guess that kind of drives me and inspires me. And then also just the people too, like meeting people at concerts, and I've had a lot of encouraging things said to me, and when people say like your music really helped me through this time, or helped me through this struggle, that's something that really encourages me to keep going. Not for myself, but for other people. Just if they're having a dark day, and maybe they hear a song that we wrote, then it helps us, helps encourage them and inspire them, and just help them to feel better. I mean, music is really powerful in that way. So that's something that just keeps me going too. And I want to keep going. I don't want to, it's not just about the music for me. It's about helping people and just encouraging them and loving them too. And so those are some things that help keep me going.
Sure. Now with going through member changes as you have, and certainly a bad time in the past,
yeah,
with other musicians now, and this is kind of a two-parter. Now, do you feel like you truly have a band now, or do you kind of leave it a little bit more of you're the band and you fill in the parts?
Well, I do feel like we have a band now. I mean, honestly, the drummer right now, we are hiring. So that's something that we don't have a permanent drummer. We just kind of been hiring people here and there. Have been having a hard time to find someone who wants to be more permanent. But as far as everyone else, yeah, I feel like we mesh well, and I have a band. So yeah, I don't know what the future holds, but I'm really excited right now. I mean, Ian, the bass player, he's a great guy. He's been with me for like 3.5 years now. He's a really cool guy. He's he's super committed, super passionate about what we do, and I'm super grateful for him. So
sure, no question. Now, Jennifer, one thing that I definitely know to be true is that Chicago is, while it's one of the 3 biggest cities on the planet, it's also one of the 3 toughest cities for a musician to break through on the planet, just because there's 8 zillion people, everybody plays in a band,
right.
to build a following is incredibly, incredibly tough.
Yeah.
How hard has it been for you, especially going through with member changes and all this different stuff? And even a sound change, how hard has it been for you to build in such a tough city like Chicago?
Yeah, I would say at first it was really, really hard. And I would just like constantly contact people, like the booking agents I would call like over and over and over, and email. I probably drove them nuts, assuming they like even read all my emails. But so that's what I just decided to do. I was just gonna, be a pain in the just whatever I can do to break through. And over time, it kind of, worked. We just kind of proved ourselves. We started playing like the Cubby Beer we played at, the Forge in Joliet, which I love. It's like my favorite venue, Rock House, and just a bunch of different places. And just over time, we built that trust and that following, and it just kind of worked out. But yeah, in the beginning, it was definitely rough because I didn't even know what I was doing, because I just started this band myself out of the blue, and then let alone, I didn't even have any connections. I had nothing. I just built it from the ground up. But I don't know, I had a drive, and I still have a drive, and I always will have a drive just to do this no matter what, for whatever reason. So I just got to keep pushing through, and through the garbage and whatever, if you want to do it, you got to work hard. You got to work your tush off and keep going. And that's it. So if you want to do it, you just got to make that decision and keep going.
Sure. No doubt. Well, the one thing I have noticed, Jennifer, with you guys, and I think, just kind of picking back on what Kurt said about how it's, very difficult it is to break out of Chicago. I think a good reason too why you guys, I think, have found, some really good success over the years is that you've focused your energy and resources really playing shows within a specific region, meaning mainly between Chicago and Nashville.
Yeah.
And I've been saying, for some time, and I've talked to, people I know in the business, I believe that bands, they really want to, make a name for themselves. That's exactly what they need to do. Is, instead of doing it the traditional way where it's like, okay, bands want to go to, New York or go to LA and tour there once or twice, maybe in the past that used to work where all the, A&R reps would be at the clubs and maybe they discover you. But that doesn't happen anymore. You really got to do the grunt work, and that's something you've done, focusing in that Midwest region. I think that's what's really given you guys a solid fan base. So, as a really a truly independent band, talk a bit about your decision to take that sort of road less traveled in terms of focusing on that Midwest region instead of wanting the instant sort of glory by playing in LA and New York here and there, hoping to really get discovered.
Yeah. Well, I just started contacting a bunch of different venues, just like you said, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, just in that, focusing on those areas, and then just, playing them. And then a couple months later, making sure we play them again and again and again, just kind of, doing that and building the following that way. And then here and there, we've done shows, like we played in Colorado and Nashville. And so we branched out, when the opportunity arises. But that seems to be working, is just focusing on a certain area. And though we do want to branch out more at this phase, definitely. And that's what we're hoping to do. But to start, I think it's best to just kind of keep, like a few, maybe 4 or 5 states, and just keep going back and to the same places, and just, get to build the relationships and get to know people. And so that seems to work.
Yeah, no doubt. And then one of the other, really cool things I would say about the band as well, other than the music itself, is the fact that I did notice that you guys are, I think I read that you were 100% self-funded band, recording, touring, everything.
Yes.
And which I think is pretty remarkable. It's something that's obviously, really difficult to pull off these days.
Yes.
And, to have what the success you guys are having. So, now that you've, built up a solid fan base over the years, doing everything on your own, is that something you're going to continue to do going forward? Or are you hoping that there is maybe some sort of, label or something like that that you want to climb onto? Do you prefer to keep it independent, or are you actively looking to maybe, work with someone else in the industry?
We would like to work with someone else, if it's the right fit, not just any person. It has to be the right fit. I've heard a lot of different horror stories, so I don't want to be in that situation. So that's one good thing about being an independent band. We can just kind of make the decisions, do whatever we want. And that's, it's nice to have that flexibility. But to grow the band even more, I would love to be with a major label like Atlantic Records or one of those someday. But we'll see what happens. If not, we'll just keep going on our own, though.
Sure, yeah.
And the interesting thing is, in today's day and age, and I know we always point to one band, But
Yeah.
a band like Dirty Honey is
Uh-huh.
proving that you can legitimately have success right now without having a record company that's
Mhm.
force feeding the music. It's proven that it can be done
Yes.
just on organic growth.
Yes, it can. It can definitely. Like we were self-managed. I managed the band, self-booked. Everything. It's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of work, but it can be done, and it's definitely worth it if this is something you want to pursue. Just instead of trying to depend on other people, or people are like, no, I'm not going to do this, or whatever. Just do it yourself. You can do. I mean, it's awesome now. You can do anything. You just have to put your mind to it and just put in the work, and it's totally worth it. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Jennifer, real quick, when I've read about IGNESCENT, I first heard you guys. I mean, obviously, you guys are squarely labeled for the most part in the music media as a Christian rock, metal band. And I think that's something I think the band's embraced. Although it doesn't seem that it's really something I think that you guys are, I guess, aggressively promoting. I mean, from my opinion, it seems to be part of what you are as a band, but it doesn't necessarily completely define the band as a whole. Having that label, and over the years, obviously, we see so many times, bands who are in the Christian, rock realm, and in that genre, they tend to say that sometimes that, well, we're not really a Christian rock band. It's not accurate. We're just a band that likes to sing about positive and uplifting themes, and and so forth. And a lot of them, so a lot of bands don't necessarily like to have that Christian rock label attached to them.
Yeah.
Even if they come from that scene, they tend to want to kind of get away from that. I mean, all you have to do is obviously look at a mainstream, rock news site and see how much, crap that bands like Skillet and Striper have to go through all the time.
I know.
For no reason,
I know.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, I guess my first question is, does it actively identify, as a Christian rock band? And if so, do you concern yourself at all with those roadblocks that exist because of the criticism that comes just with having a Christian, label attached to a name?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say, I'm not going to be shy about it. We are a Christian band,
Okay.
no doubt about it. But and I mean, sure, there's concerns here and there, but at the same time, it's who we are. It's who I am. So I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be ashamed, and I'm not going to hide from it. So I like to be upfront and honest, and but yeah, I know what you're saying, and but yeah, I mean, honestly, there's also additional opportunities. We get to play at certain fests like Life Fest and these really cool Christian fests, and meet some great people, and it's just, I don't know, I love it. I think it's really, really cool opportunity to be able to do that, and also what we do. We play in bars. We've opened for like Stitched Up Heart, and we've opened for Gemini Syndrome. We've opened for Buck Cherry, and so it's just, I don't know, I'm thankful and blessed that we can kind of do both of those and have both those opportunities. It's just, I don't know, it's, to me, I love it, and it's cool, but I'm not going to shy away from saying that we're a Christian band. I'm going to be honest and upfront about it too.
That's good. Yeah, I applaud you for that. Absolutely. Yeah,
sure. Well, and honestly, and maybe I'm stepping out of line here. I don't know, but that wouldn't be the first time. But my thought anyway is the reason that bands like a Skillet, especially right now, Skillet,
yes,
or Striper, and we know Michael Sweet. I've known Michael Sweet for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
But the reason they get in trouble is because they forget the element of sharing their music and become more preachy than they need to be. I mean, you can look at there's plenty of other Christian bands out there that have never really been preachy, but have never hidden. Jars of Clay, different genre kind of, but you're aware of them, obviously.
Oh yeah,
they're obviously a Christian band. They've never been preachy, and they've never been beaten up about it. It to me anyway, it seems like nobody really cares if the music's good until it becomes pushed into other people's face to either question their faith or question their atheistism or whatever. You know, for you, it sounds like you're very comfortable in, this is what I am, and you be you and I'll be me, and we can still enjoy what we do. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say that's totally accurate, totally fair. But also I just, I'm not gonna shy away from it, and I'll be honest about it, but I'm not gonna be like, oh no, you have your beliefs, and that's fine. And, whatever your beliefs are fine, and whatever my beliefs are fine. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I just, I just want to put out there, I love all people, like, no matter what they believe, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do want them to know that God loves them too. Honestly, I do. I don't know. Yeah, but I see what you're saying. I think that maybe we all have different ways of saying things, or different styles of saying things, or maybe a different calling or on our lives, and the way we say, I don't know, you know what I mean? But I guess more the purpose of IGNESCENT is just to, like, really, especially because of what we've been through with COVID, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, we're all hurt. We all hurt, and we all are probably still hurting and still affected by that. Like, my heart is still breaking over everything that has happened. And I've had so much in the last 2 years of my life that has just been insane. Like, you wouldn't believe it. I haven't shared everything, but, and my heart is really, to be honest, it's broken right now. Like, I'm having a hard time with things. And I like to be honest. I don't like to be fake. I just want to, I just throw that out there. So the purpose for me personally for IGNESCENT is just to, like, encourage people and to, like, love on people, and to be like, you know what, I am so not perfect. I'm so broken, but let's just be broken together. Let's just, like, do this life together. But I also want to have that message of, you're loved, you know what I mean? You're not alone, because we all feel that.
We all need that. Yeah, we all
need that. And I also want to throw in there that, that God does love them too. I just want to, I just feel like people need to know that, that he loves them so much. So that's kind of my thing, or I don't know if that makes sense in my style. Or what. Yeah. So.
Well, yeah. Jennifer, the other thing, religious preference aside, going back to the musical preference.
Yeah.
something that you and I talked about briefly before we got started was how much you guys have changed. The sound has changed itself. As I told you, I really wasn't aware of your band until a couple weeks ago. And then I did what I do. I went and I listened to the song. I loved the song. I was like, I got to hear 10 more of these songs. And then I went back and listened to the older stuff and was like, wait a minute, this is like a pop band that became a metal band.
Yeah. Like, what happened? What's going on?
Yeah, it really is. It really is a difference and a progression. And, obviously some of that I'm assuming is members changing, but I'm going to guess, and tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that a lot of it has just been life experience has taken you into somewhat of a heavier direction. So you're writing heavier music to match. Is that fair?
Yes, you're totally on. Yeah, that's totally on point. It's like, I don't know. It's when, all that stuff happened, it was like angry time. I'm like, You need to get heavier. I need to get the emotion out.
Right.
And then I talked to my guitarist. I'm like, do you know how to, like, can we start writing it on 8-string guitar, and just, I want to get that really heavy sound. He's like, yeah, let's totally do that. And so we just started writing together, and he would write on 8-string guitar. And so, like, the whole EP, except for one song, was with 8-string, and it kind of just, like, conveyed, like, Remnant is more hopeful. But when you hear the other songs that are coming out on the EP on March 4th, they're definitely more of a, like, a angry, I guess, I don't know, like, message. It's a little bit less hopeful, but because I just use music and lyrics to get out what I'm feeling. So, but yeah, you're totally right. And so, yeah, and I don't know, I kind of fell in love with that sound too, and the 8-string and like the heaviness, and I'm like, let's keep going, let's get heavier.
Very good. Well, it's definitely the song that you've shared with everybody so far, Remnant, is certainly heavy. There's video out on YouTube right now. The EP comes out on March the 4th. And Jennifer, why don't you tell everybody, why don't you do the plugs here real quick and tell everybody where they can go to keep up with the band and tour dates and getting the EP and sign copies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, you can check us out at IGNESCENTmusic.com. It's IGNESCENT music.com. And then we're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and it's all under IGNESCENT Music. So IGNESCENT Music, all under IGNESCENT Music. But make sure to go to Spotify and listen to us there. So Remnant, by us, IGNESCENT, is on Spotify, and maybe check out some of our other music too. Goodbye is the last song before Remnant that we released, so check that out. And yeah, I think that's everything.
Very good. Well, one more time, the album is called, or the single is called Remnant. It is IGNESCENT. And Jennifer, thanks for joining us here on Aftershocks.
Thanks,
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
When it's time to rock, it's time to tune in to Crash Course Radio. Featuring the very best of the heavier music, from Slayer to Clutch to Fear Factory, it's all in one place, Crash Course Radio. To tune in to Crash Course Radio, simply visit www.cmsradio.net. You can also tune in on the CMS Network app by opening the app, clicking the musical notes at the top right corner, and selecting Crash Course Radio from our stations. All the best heavy music is there, so you should be too. Ditch the commercial radio and make Crash Course Radio your everyday station.